King Medic, turn me up. 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 King Medic, turn me up.
He's a men's rights activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission, to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermain Botsio.
Hello. And welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermain Botsio. And on today's show, as you guys know, it is Tuesday, and it's two J's, double barrel J Tuesdays. I got the one and the only Mr. Minor Jamal. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good, and it's about to get crunk. Oh, I took it back to the 2000s, Jermain. It's about to get crunk.
Man, that is old school. I can tell you that. Old school. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right, we got a lot to discuss tonight. And as you guys know, they absolutely hate us. All right? Yeah, it's going to be a real nice night. You guys already know, right? Yeah, come on. You know it's going to be a nice night. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Don't treat us like some side chicks, right? Don't treat us like Barack Obama and them. Right? We know about Barack Obama, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, they crazy. Barack Obama and them? Yeah. Don't treat us like Barack Obama and them. You hit that like button, you make sure you share. Because without that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the only way we can get seen. They don't like me. They don't like you. They don't like your mama. They don't like your sister too. So, share. Brother, oh brother, let me tell you something. We have a fantastic show lined up. The crowd here is waiting. I want to go ahead and apologize to everybody. I hopped on the broadcast here kind of late. I got into the studio just, about 10 minutes late. I know usually I'm on CP time, but gosh darn it, that was late. It was, absolutely. So I would like to apologize about that.
You operate no Negro time.
Yeah. I would just
straight Negro time.
Yeah, I just like to apologize. So hit that like button. Make sure you share. Don't want to keep you guys waiting too long, all right? So without further ado, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to rumble. How about you, sir?
I'm ready to flame.
We ready to flame. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Also, for the folks out there, I'm not on Facebook right now. We're not streaming on there right now. I'm still on Facebook and everything. Your boy got into Facebook jail. Apparently, they didn't like one of my comments. I was speaking about Leah Thomas. And apparently, what I said offended somebody out there. And Facebook, Facebook and Neil. Somebody was offended. Gosh darn it, my black ass has to pay. So I won't be able to post or comment for another 2 days. So I just want to let folks know that, all right? Facebook got me in the clinker, all right? So you can send your mail. If you got money on the books, you get what I'm saying? Send money on the books. Shoot. Help a brother out. Sometimes I got to fight for phone time. You know what I'm saying? Right now, this is my phone time right now. I had to beat up 4 Mexicans to get up here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got my native brothers out there looking out for me. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Yeah. First one up, ladies and gentlemen. First one up. I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about a viral video. A viral TikTok video. It deals with a apostle by the name of Geno Jennings. He does a sermon on how men and women dress, particularly, I should say, black men and black women. In this video here, I'm going to show you his sermon on black men. This has gone viral. A lot of people are asking, why aren't pastors doing this anymore? What's going on? I want you guys to take a look at this when it comes back. I want you guys to ask yourself, how come pastors aren't doing this? What's going on? Here we go. Make sure you share.
Come on now, just take it off. I want to get the men.
Men.
Because a lot of women was complaining that I just got them. Take this hoodie off of them. I don't need that. Be careful. I don't want to take the whole hoodie off. Be careful. Take the hoodie off, because what I want to focus on is what our sloppy men look like.
Yes.
Now to all
Go ahead.
Now, I know many of you will write me and said, you ain't got no Bible to justify you doing that. Let's get some Bible.
In the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19.
And I want to get power and demonstration from Brother Paul. Read that.
In the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, and at verse 29.
Says what?
A man may be known by his look.
A man may be known by his look.
And one that hath understanding by his countenance.
Yes.
When thou meetest him.
When you meet him.
A man's attire.
A man's clothes.
And excessive laughter.
And excessive laughter.
And gait.
And gait.
Show what he is.
Now I want to demonstrate this. Paul said he demonstrated. Now you men, will you please explain? You men, will you please explain why do you want your filthy drawers exposed to the public, and why are you walking with your pants down like you's a male whore? Am I right, man? Am I right? I say, hoorah! Hoorah! You got so-called Christian performers up on a stage like this, singing about Jesus like this. Preacher sons like this. You know, they had this trash reality show called The Preachers. Preachers of LA. And you see them like this. You folks are no Christians. What do this trash got to do with Jesus?
Bam.
1 Corinthians chapter 2.
And I'm going to stop it right here. So, Jamal, my goodness gracious, let me tell you something. That was fire. Let me tell you. This type of public condemnation, this public shaming of this type of lifestyle that a lot of young black men are into, and a lot of, men of all colors are into, is missing nowadays. We don't get to see this. It's truth on display. It's, how could I say, showing the morality of people out there and getting them to consciously be aware of what they're doing. How come we don't see this anymore? I mean, what the heck is going on here, sir?
Jermain, that is my former pastor.
Oh, no.
I set up a lot of people, if you really heard me and how I address things and how open and how I didn't care what nobody felt, why I'm like that, it's because of him. I sat up under him for over 12 years.
Oh, I could see why.
I started going to First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ with the Apostle Geno Jennings back in 2005. And I think 2021. So that's 16 years, excuse me. He doesn't play. He has been caught. Like this video you're watching, that was in the basement of the church when he was remodeling, because he's redoing everything else.
Okay,
that's
why.
The gymnasium of the church. Excuse me. That was the gymnasium church, and we just got that church.
Okay.
Okay, that's actually 2 to 3 years old. That's right before COVID. This video you're watching is right before COVID. Apostle Jennings have been talking about pulling up pants and stuff. What you ought to hear is the part right before that when he was talking about women and how they dressing, Christian hoes. Like he was saying, you supposed to be a Christian woman with your back all out, breasts hanging all out, dressing like a $2 hoe.
Oh, yep.
And that's what, like I say, when I say hoe, why? He was calling stuff out like that. And oh yeah, you ought to heard what he said about Mary. He said the only reason Mary are nothing but a bunch of Christian hoes out there trying to sell sex instead of God. Because no godly woman gonna look like
that. Yeah.
If you gonna be in the world, but you can't juggle both of them.
You know,
and yes, God do care what you wear.
Yeah.
That's why I've always stood strong on, yes, God cares what you wear. It's a lie. Anybody tells you God don't care what you wear is a liar, and they don't know the truth. Because all scripture is backing up God cares what you wear. It goes hand in hand. Now, can you be a fake Christian wearing a suit and looking all nice and be fake on the inside? Yes. However, no Christian woman gonna carry herself like the group Mary, and no Christian man gonna carry himself like he was describing, showing your drawers off, sitting up there showing your butt, advertising to other men.
Absolutely. And you know, that makes what you said really does make a lot of sense. Now, if you think about it, I don't know if you know about this actress. Her name is Megan Good.
Yes.
She's a black actress. She was married to a black pastor, and the black pastor divorced her. All right. And the reason why they got divorced was because of the same thing that you were saying. He said that he couldn't be married to a woman who was on screen, showing her breasts and all sorts of stuff, and be a pastor of a church and lead folks to God. He said he couldn't do it, and he begged her to stop, doing these type of doing roles and doing these type of movie roles. She refused. He divorced her. So it kind of what you're saying makes sense here. He had a issue with the things that she was wearing and doing, and she didn't want to give those things up. Just like what he's saying here, you cannot be a person of God in a sense and wear these type of things and purport yourself like this, because what you're doing is you're setting a bad example, and you're also how could I say, you're portraying an image that's not even godly or holy or anything. You're not portraying.
Whoredom.
You get what I'm saying?
Whoredom.
Yeah, you're portraying whoredom. You're a guy out there and you're sagging your pants, showing your drawers. All you're doing is showing how nasty you are. You get what I'm saying? You're not showing that you're responsible. You're not showing that you're a person of character or any of this. And these type of things that are quote unquote trends and quote unquote a part of the fashion start getting ingrained in people's behavior, and it brings them down morally. Most folks who sag their pants, and Jamal will tell you this, most folks who sag their pants in this manner are folks who are in the low economic spectrum. These are people who are thugs, people who don't care about themselves and care about the people around them. Last words here, sir.
Okay, number one, and here's one thing about him, and I want to explain this, and I'm going to put my timer on me, Jermain.
Go ahead.
So that way I won't go over, because I don't want to, stretch the time. Now, if a woman coming to the church dressed like that, and she's unsaved, Pastor Jennings have told every single member, every single minister, you better not change your message and start preaching it if you weren't preaching it before.
Yep.
She's unsaved and she doesn't know. The members of the church better not look at her and start making her feel bad because she just stepped in the church if she's unsaved. I mean, the way he is there,
Mm-hmm.
he's hard on ministers too. You just can't change your message because a sister like that stepped in the church because she doesn't know the truth.
Yeah.
And you give her a chance to change, but you don't change the message. If you preaching that, then you continue to preach it. He didn't know he doesn't allow switching messages to point at somebody. He does not allow that. You would get thrown out of the pulpit real quick on the pastogenesis. Now, a lot of people have tried to say, well, Jamal, Matthew says God doesn't care about what happens on the outside. That's not true. He's saying if that's all you're portraying, because if you go to Timothy, he tells you a woman should dress in modest apparel. Matter of fact, Timothy tells you a woman shouldn't wear gold and pearls.
Yep, that's true.
And you know what? The women in our church don't wear gold, don't wear pearls. Ears aren't pierced. My daughters, to this day, ears are not pierced.
Same with mine.
Okay? I don't wear a wedding band. Why? Because he preached against me and wearing wedding bands. We don't supposed to wear those. I can wear a watch, no wedding band. You don't see me with long hair, stuff like that. I still govern myself accordingly to how I'm taught, which I was taught under him.
Yeah.
When I got saved.
That's same with me.
His message, Jermain, preaches to break the thug, the hoodlum, the Klansman. He doesn't care. All he cares about is baptizing you, Acts 2:38, in the name of Jesus Christ or Lord Jesus. That's it. He's a no-nonsense pastor, and what he preached, oh my God, y'all heard what he preached about women too.
Oh, man,
he don't play.
I heard that too, and let me tell you something. It was flames and fury. That's why the women were so upset. Hey, you need to speak about the guys too, please. And let me tell you something. We're missing people like him in the crowd nowadays. We're missing people.
Oh
like
yes.
him. Because without pointing out the truth like this, a lot of people are left astray, and you know, he's caught a lot of slack by some other folks out there who don't like his, style of preaching, right? But let me tell you something. You're not always going to like everybody's approach. And let me tell you something. His approach works very well. And that's something that people need to take into consideration. So I just wanted to
real quick, Jermain.
Go ahead.
That sermon where he preached, Ricky Smiley came after him saying he don't like that, because also in the sermon, in that same sermon, I didn't go to Philadelphia for that one because I think my wife was sick and we had just had our baby. Yeah, we had just had Demaya. But he also called out these Christian cruises where Christian people, especially Christian singers and artists, go there wearing thong bikinis and all this type of stuff on a Christian cruise, acting like a bunch of teenagers at Bike Fest. Oh, he called it out too.
We need folks like us. We certainly do. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share, all right? That is the only way we can get seen. For folks out there, we're not on Facebook, all right? Yes, I'm in jail for about 2 more days. So we need your help tonight. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share, all right? Because a lot of people are looking for the show. They want to know where to find it. And we want to make sure they're able to find us so that they can get the information that they seek, okay? So please, oh please, hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up here, I would like to speak about a teacher that has had enough. This teacher is blowing up on TikTok right now, and it's because of a video a student put out. This student thought they were slick in a sense by recording what the teacher was saying while the teacher was frustrated in class. The person who was recording, which was a black girl, she thought that the teacher was being rude and not, how can I say, appealing to her and the other black children in the class. I want to go ahead and run this. When I come back, I want to speak about this. Is it time to have, good old-fashioned ass whoopings in class? Is it time, ladies and gentlemen, to bring back masculinity in the classroom? Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Here we go.
You in the office. You'll wait for me there after the second bell so I can dismiss the rest of the class. Does anyone else want to try my authority? Because I am fucking done playing with you idiots. I am here because I want to be here. I somewhat enjoy this job. You need something from me. I need nothing from you. You can go through life and live on the fucking system, draw your paycheck on the 1st and the 15th from my taxes, and live just an absolute horrible life. I don't care. You can be another statistic. I don't care. That's on you. And if you think it's funny, I can take you down to the county office and we'll pull the fucking numbers. And if you don't like my language, I don't give a shit. Because you've said worse. And if you, again, Samaya, you leave too. Get out now. Get your shit. Get out.
I'm not.
Get out now. I didn't fucking ask.
Bow. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That didn't sound like mama to me. It didn't sound like mama to me. We got some more, folks. I want to play it one more time. I want people to hear this. This is what happens when you have a male masculine teacher. Right? Not the one from Mama's Cookie Camp. Take a look once more again. Hit that like button. Make sure you share.
You in the office. You'll wait for me there after the second bell so I can dismiss the rest of the class. Does anyone else want to try my authority? Because I am fucking done playing with you idiots. I am here because I want to be here. I somewhat enjoy this job. You need something from me. I need nothing from you. You can go through life and live on the fucking system, draw your paycheck on the 1st and the 15th from my taxes, and live just an absolute horrible life. I don't care. You can be another statistic. I don't care. That's on you. And if you think it's funny, I can take you down to the county office and we'll pull the fucking numbers. And if you don't like my language, I don't give a shit. Because you've said worse. And if you, again, Samaya, you leave too. Get out now. Get your shit. Get out.
I'm not.
Get out now. I didn't fucking ask.
Bow. So the black girl there that was sitting there chewing her bubble gum, right? The one, that nasty black girl who was chewing her bubble gum with that attitude, right? That was smiling while the teacher was speaking like this. She turned this in trying to get the teacher in trouble. And let me tell you something, it didn't happen the way that she wanted. Mr. Jamal, are we missing masculinity in the classroom here? Because
Jermain,
let me tell you something.
This.
Go ahead.
The way he did that and cursing like that, to me as a teacher, he shouldn't have done. Now, he can speak forcefully. Yes, I believe that 100% of a teacher speaking forcefully. I believe that teachers should speak with authority. But when it comes to stuff like that, Jermaine, and all of that, what that's teaching the students to me, and like I say, people may disagree, is it's okay if you're breaking the law for a good reason, it's okay. But I can't sit here and say anything because he's right.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be honest, you can't complain about it because he's telling the truth. And too many of our kids don't want to hear the truth. They hate it. They want to be babied.
There you go.
So I'll be honest, Jermaine. You know what? Yeah, because you know what? If they're in high school, they're old enough and they're watching movies like that with that type of language. Okay,
there you go.
He should have did it.
There you go.
100% true.
Yeah, see, and that's where I'm at, Jamal, because they're in high school. These students here hear this type of language when, they're watching TV. Their favorite movies have this language. So it's kind of like you're playing a little patsy game with the language, right? And this is the way the students talk to each other, right? They talk like this to each other. A lot of the times when you're speaking that nice yin yang, and you know this, Jamal, black children don't respect it, right? When you say, hey, you guys stop it there, you guys stop it, or you're going to have a timeout. Jamal, when you're speaking like that, the students, especially if they black, they ain't going to listen to you. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're
For
not.
some reason, our students are more aggressive.
There you go.
We have to take an aggressive approach.
So when a guy like this has had to his wits' end, and you hear it there, he's had enough with the disrespect. At some point, Jamal, you're going to have to get aggressive with the children in this way. The teenagers, I should say, because they're not children, and so they're teenagers. You have to get aggressive in this manner to get the respect that is needed. And the thing is, when he acts in this manner, speaking in this way aggressively, saying that he doesn't care, he's letting the students, in my personal opinion, know that, hey, you guys know what the rules is, but you guys are sitting here trying to play games.
Boo-boo the fool.
You're playing me. You're playing with people's education here. I'm not going to tolerate that, right? You have these children saying nasty things to you. They're doing all sorts of stuff. At some point, you're going to have to stand up for your dignity, for your respect, Jamal, and gosh darn it, for the respect and authority of the classroom. And in a manner, when we talk about men, this is how men, in a sense, take over and take control over chaos. You get what I'm saying? I want folks to understand. When it comes to chaos, you cannot control chaos with compassion. You have to control it with order, ladies and gentlemen, and you have to control it with aggression. That's the only way. And he was able to act in this manner to control the classroom. And you better believe, guess what? The kids ain't running their mouth when he's talking like this. How much you want to bet? You didn't hear none of the children running their mouth say, hey, F you, teacher. You didn't hear none of that. As a matter of fact, they were quiet, and the ones who were laughing got kicked out. Last words here, sir.
I want to thank Miss Lolly Ryder. Miss Lolly Ryder, thank you for your kindness and generosity. My Rumble Rebel, Miss Lolly Ryder. You know what, Jermaine? like I said, yes, he did what he had to do to reach them because obviously it's not working. They have to be reached. He did what he had to do. And I'm glad. You know what, Jermaine? I'm glad he did what he had to do. He said it. What he said was truthful.
Yeah, that's what I believe too. I just believe we need more male teachers in the classroom. We do. Um, we absolutely do, because when we have more male teachers, this type of crap doesn't happen that much. You know, students acting up and acting crazy. When they know that they have a male teacher who's able to get this aggressive, right? Saying that, hey, you acting up like this, I don't give a rip. You're out of here, right? Telling the students what it is. The students respect realness over niceness, don't they, Jamal?
Yes.
I want folks to understand. They respect realness over niceness. Do you understand? It's just like when it comes to children, right? My children, my cousin's children, my brother's children, they all like me, right? I'm a discipline. I lay down the law and order. I love structure, right? I love discipline. I tell it like it is. And guess what? With all that being said, right? You would think that, hey, he's a disciplinarian. The children love me the most. They respect me the most. Absolutely. And that's how you get it. So I love this so much because it brings people back to reality. It really does, especially in these times. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Lowlit Rider. Lowlit Rider donated on PayPal, took the challenge. Shout out to Lowlit Rider. Shout out to MAGA Cat Wearer. It says, bring back God and paddling in school. They'll learn. Yep, they need a ass whooping. There's nothing wrong with ass whoopings. Nowadays, children don't get it. The liberals have made it very, very easy for a child to pick up the phone and call the police on you. The liberal state wants to take your children any way possible. So if your child wants to participate in it, please believe some way, somehow, if your child's smart enough, they're going to do it. That's the way our laws and everything set up. Me, I don't care. Ass whoopings, I'm still giving out. And while they're calling on the phone, I'm whooping their ass until the police come.
That's how black folk used to do it.
Absolutely.
You gonna call the police? Come get him.
My son got not an ass whooping, but he got a spanking. And, he got mad one day. I'm going to call the police on you, Daddy. I said, make sure when you call the police, you tell them how good of an ass whooping I'm giving y'all. You make sure you do it. And when they come, I'll whoop them right in front of them. He said, huh? Yeah, I'll whoop you right in front of the police. Yeah. Yeah, you want to play with me, my son? I'm telling you. Boy, he certainly loved me, though. I can tell you that. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Next one up, I want to go ahead and speak about a new law in Philadelphia. That is absolutely wild. It is wow. This new law prevents Philadelphia police from stopping drivers for low-level traffic violations. This is getting a lot of talk right now, and I want you guys to hear it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Here we go.
A new law took effect today aimed at putting the brakes on certain traffic stops. Philadelphia is now the first major city in the entire country that prevents police from pulling over drivers for minor traffic violations. The goal of the law is to stop racial discrimination in traffic stops. Eyewitness News reporter Jasmine Payute is on the Ben Franklin Parkway tonight with details on the new driving equality law. Jasmine?
Yuki, good evening. The driving force behind the law says they communicated with officers and civilians to make this happen. Tonight, the law is getting mixed reactions. As headlights light up Philadelphia streets Thursday night, a new law is now in effect. It prevents police from stopping drivers for low-level traffic violations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that will work out good for me.
Because you only have like one headlight all the time.
Coming from a young black man, I think that will lower the chances of having interactions with the police that can go wrong.
According to studies done by the Defenders Association, a law firm in Philadelphia, these low-level traffic stops disproportionately impact black people. That's just one of the reasons Philadelphia Councilmember Isaiah Thomas authored the bill.
Law-abiding citizens should be able to ride around the city of Philadelphia and not have to worry about the pit of their stomach dropping when they see those flashing lights behind their car.
Under the law, drivers
That's
can no
a
longer be
girl.
stopped
That
for
ain't
things
no
like minor
dude.
bumper damage, expired vehicle registration, and broken headlights.
The bill does not mean that these low-level offenses will be now legal. This bill basically means that we are modifying the primary way we enforce these violations.
This is stupidity at its best.
Philadelphia Police Union President John McNesby says the law puts reckless drivers behind the wheel of unsafe vehicles and filed a lawsuit in opposition. It names the city, mayor, and police commissioner.
It's going to condone this behavior, and that's why we're police officers, to enforce the law.
Use your best resources. I know the police department is much smaller now than it had once been, and it just strikes me that there's better things to do than to worry about those kinds of concerns.
The councilman says the law will have an oversight group so it can be amended and modified as necessary. We're live along the Parkway. Jasmine Payute, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right,
Wow.
Jasmine, thank you.
So this new law here, Jamal, will stop low-level, violations and such. They're saying about discrimination. A lot of Black Americans, people of color are, how can I say, crying about this. Now, let me go ahead and put something out here because I'm always authentic and real. When it comes to getting pulled over, I've been pulled over various times, even with my wife. And this is driving in a black city, all white cops. They pulled over mostly a lot of black folks. Now, I've driven in white cities, all right? And let me tell you, I've gotten pulled over. One thing I can tell you, when I'm driving in some of these black areas, especially here in Minneapolis, I don't get pulled over for, anything dumb. It's usually for me breaking the law. I have a heavy foot, okay? I certainly do. When I getting pulled over in some of these affluent white areas, it's for something dumb. And I've been pulled out of the car before. I've been searched, all sorts of dumb stuff. And it's because of stuff like this. And the reason why I don't go down the, hey, this is racial discrimination road is because I know that a lot of young black males who look like me are up to no good. Do you understand? So I don't go down that road of, hey, you just pointed at me because I'm black. I understand there's a lot of crime in the area, and I understand that me myself, I good black folks get caught up with the bad, but I don't believe in a sense that stop at all low traffic, quote unquote, violations is the way to go. What do you think about this here, sir?
You know what, Jermaine? I think this is the dumbest idea. Philadelphia. 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 They got more murders. So far this year, they're looking to break 500. They are actually trying to catch up with Chicago. Okay? Every tool that you can use to help get these drug dealers and gang bangers off the street, they want to take away, because what they don't want to admit, like Isaiah Thomas, it limits interactions. Nobody tell black folk to act like niggas when we get out of the vehicle, get stopped. Chris Rock had a famous video, and it was so true
exactly
after
what you're
George Floyd. How not to get your whooped by the police. Chris Rock actually had a video. Y'all know if you remember that.
I know.
Jermaine.
I think I even played it on the show here before.
Okay. Now, people got, there's never no reason. I'm going to tell you something. After this George Floyd stuff, black folk didn't get more quiet, more humble. Hey, you're recognizing injustice. Well, the injustice that was never there. But still, no, they got more ignorant. They took the ignorance to level 10. Excuse me, level 10 plus. These police officers pull people with these are legitimate concerns. And you know why they're pulling people? Because if you're sitting out there, you got patrolmen that's not doing nothing. You know what the people going to say? Well, they ain't pulling nobody. They ain't doing nothing. So why are we paying them so much? So you know what officers going to do? They're going to pull people for little stuff like that. Now, there is no way a police officer who pulls behind you know what color you are. That police officer cannot see 60 feet in front of you. He's looking at the back of your vehicle. He doesn't say, he's driving like a black man. He's driving.
He can certainly look at through the window. I've been in a patrol car. You could, if you pull off to the side, you can see a nigga face. So,
yeah,
but
to the side, but
not from behind though. Not from behind.
No, not unless he doing this right here.
Absolutely.
Now that's gonna make somebody pull you.
Absolutely. You know, blacks gotta. They have to admit, Jamal, that the main reason why a lot of black folks are targeted is because of the lack of responsibility in crime. Right? Black folks don't think about these type of things, and I want black folks to start thinking about this. Right? White folks, other folks who aren't black aren't dumb, and I want black people to understand. If you go to school with black Americans, you start to figure out that a lot of them are into crime. All right? This is not something that is out of the ordinary of what I'm saying. Right? White people will attest to it. They go to school with black people just if they're a fly on the wall watching black folks. First thing they'll say is, well, black folks, a lot of them like to fight over nonsense. A lot of them have drug talk. You go ahead and speak to a lot of these young black guys here. All you hear them talking about, I got a zip here, I got an O here, this and that. Drug talk, right? Young white boys who are going to school with these black guys, I want the black guys to understand they're paying attention to the stuff that you're doing, right? They're paying attention to the culture. You're listening to music that is talking about selling drugs. They know that black Americans, most of y'all, right? Not most of the mainstream black Americans, I should say. I should really segment that. Most mainstream black Americans are into criminality. They like to smoke weed, right? They have nothing. They don't see nothing wrong with gang banging or this type of stuff. These young white boys who are going to school with you, they're not dumb. They're paying attention to what you're doing. People like Jamal, they're paying attention. And these young white boys, you know what they're doing? They're going to college. They're going to technical school. And you know what they're becoming? Cops. Yeah, so Timmy that you were talking shit about, Jamal he's now a cop. He knows niggas like you smoke weed. He knows where you keep your crack in the socks. Right, yeah. So while you're sitting here acting like these white folks don't know nothing, Brett, Dave, gosh darn it, Timmy, gosh darn it, Allison out there, she know you niggas. Allison used to screw a couple niggas. She know what y'all niggas do. So when she pull you over and you're lighting your blunt and you put it down real quick, she like, hey, I used to date Jamal Quavius. He used to smoke blunts like that. Pull his ass over. Yeah. So I want black folks to use common sense here. These people ain't dumb. White folks ain't dumb. They know the culture. So if you have a culture like this, they're going to be like, well, what's the culture that I need to pull over the most? Black folks. I know they're going to be smoking weed, doing this and that. Jamal, you know what I'm talking about. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, that is so true. They knew you all during high school.
I swear
They
to
knew
God.
you was smoking weed behind the building. They knew who your supplier was.
Yup.
They knew all that. Now they cops and they see you and your supplier together.
There you
they
go.
can connect two and two, and they know you ain't talking about Bible study.
There you go. They're like, you know what? I know a nigga who just act like you. He was in college. I know what you niggas doing. You know what I'm talking about, Jamal?
Yes.
And black folks don't want to be cops. So if you don't want to be a cop, right, don't be mad at Brett. Don't be mad at Timmy that went to school with you, that know how you niggas act.
Yeah.
Right? And what they do is they look at the culture. Okay, yeah, I used to go to school with these guys. I know how they act. I know how the culture is, right? So they understand when niggas are lying. They understand when niggas are sitting here having drug talk and dope talk, right? You think the white guys are so, and a lot of these black guys think the white guys are so square. Just because they talk proper don't mean they're square. And I want the black folks to understand that. Black folks believe speaking proper means you're square. I want you guys to get out of that, because a lot of these white guys who are cops, they're not square at all. If you speak with them long enough, you start to figure out they're not square. And a lot of them come from areas where niggas used to be, so they understand nigga culture. So when they're sitting here picking stuff up, right, because, you know, they were in the culture, they know, you know, things that perk their ear, things that Jamar Quavius used to do, they're going to have a hunch, and they're going to come after you. And blacks aren't smart enough to say, you know what, our culture is promoting thuggery, drugs, crime. We have people who exemplify this in the culture, and that's why we get looked at the most, is because, you know, we sitting over here listening to music about crime, promoting crime in our day-to-day lifestyle, and we don't say nothing about the things that are happening. I mean, gosh darn it, things are going to not turn out very good for you. Last words here, Jamal.
You know what, Jermaine? This is so true. This is just so true. And when it comes to pulling people, and I said this last night, two of the most famous people was pulled. Timothy McVeigh and Terry, the guy, the Unabomber. They was caught because the officer pulled them because of a broken tail light or another light out. So it's needed.
It is.
Black folk don't want to get pulled because a majority of them know they riding dirty.
There you go. There you go. And like I said, the good black folks get caught up with the bad. That's why it's incumbent on good black folks to start separating yourself. Stop with that, we're all black stuff, because that's what's keeping the nonsense going on. The bad black folks want to be coupled with the good black folks. So every time you start saying something about these bad black folks, will say, hey, we're all black. We're all brothers here. Ain't that right, Jamal?
Let me tell you something. They love saying that, no, we may all be black, but we all don't do the same thing.
There you go. And that's what's needed. We need good black folks to start standing up. As soon as they start standing up, a lot of this nonsense starts getting bled away. It really does. Because these cops understand morality. They understand culture a lot of the times. And I want the black folks to understand the morality in the black community is not the morality in a lot of other ethnic cultures. Nope. Not in the white culture, not in the Asian culture. So you have to look at the morality of the community and understand that. Because when other cultures look at the morality of the black community, they can easily tell you that the morality isn't good. So that's why other cultures are suspicious of blacks. And I want blacks to understand that. It's not because of your color. It's because of the culture. And a lot of them ascribe to that culture. And what happens is that a lot of these cultures, they have to individualize black folks, past the ordinary coupling of blacks that everybody does, which is, pattern behavior. This is how people recognize danger. So once they get to know you as an individual and they see that you're not ascribed to the mainstream black culture, that's when, you get a different treatment. And I want black folks to understand that's how it is. So if you want to be, portrayed, you want to be treated well as a culture, it needs to change. If not, don't be mad if you get individually, discriminated against because they're worried you're ascribing to your culture that isn't very good. And I want black folks to understand that. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up here. I want to speak about a challenge on TikTok that is going crazy and is putting a lot of people in the hospital. Very dangerous. Police in Gaston County investigate a dangerous TikTok challenge. Now, I want to play this and I want to play another one. There's two videos that we want to play here, and I want you guys to take a look at it. Here we go. Make sure you share.
Hashtag Orbeez challenge is all over TikTok with millions of views. But recently, this game has gone too far in Gaston County, and the kids shooting the toy guns could face criminal charges.
It sounds like an automatic weapon. These gel ball guns may not seem like much, but the pellets can generate a sting.
Since it is a projectile, I'm pretty sure if it hits somebody in the eye, it can cause some damage.
Randlow police are investigating after they say kids ran through a Gaston County neighborhood, shooting the pellets at each other and hit a woman riding her bike.
She got struck in the leg and left like a little welt mark on it.
Video from one neighbor shows kids running through their yard and hiding behind their truck before returning fire.
At the end of the day, it all goes back to the parents. If you're going to play with them, you should do it in your own yard or anything like that. Don't go around shooting people that's walking, innocent people, you know what I'm saying?
The pellets themselves are gel-like in texture after they're submerged in water. But neighbors say the kids are taking things a step too far.
Plastic alone won't hurt you, but they're freezing them.
This video and an uptick in the so-called splatter ball gun activity has the neighborhood worried.
I think it's ridiculous. I mean, they can put, children's eyes out or anything, make them blind, and I don't think they realize all that.
It's become a fad. Stores have had a hard time keeping the guns in stock, which is why police are warning the kids shooting these guns at people. There can be some serious consequences.
We're still in contact with the district attorney's office, and at the least maybe an assault charge of some sort.
So some serious charges possibly for those kids. This is what people buy in the store. They're pretty small, as you can see.
Very small.
But when you add water, they basically become 4 times the size of that. And I actually put them in the freezer today, and you can feel, Brian, just how hard if a kid would shoot those out of a gun. Yeah, and they do go bouncing, so you got to be careful. But you can imagine how much that would hurt. It would be like a bullet. I mean, it's hard when you.
And I want to go ahead and show another one here because this is really taking off, this TikTok Orbeez challenge here. Take a look at this one.
A dangerous social media challenge is hitting our area. Kids around the country are getting hurt and arrested over what's called the Orbeez challenge. And Chris, police want parents to know this is no joke.
Yeah, it's one of these viral social media challenges now leading to some serious charges against 4 Radnor teenagers in what some call a funny prank, police call a dangerous and stupid criminal decision. Radnor police arresting 4 teenage boys for using a gel blast gun like this one on students and faculty outside of Radnor Middle School last week. Police say the attack was part of the Orbeez challenge, now spreading around social media. We saw plenty of posts showing similar sneak attacks.
They had seen this on a TikTok type of source where it was a challenge. In other words, go video yourself doing that.
Police say surveillance video showed the 4 teens pull up in a car and fire the gel pellets into a class working outside. 3 students and a faculty member were hit, but didn't require medical attention. The viral social media challenge is the latest in a string of similar shooting incidents nationwide. Police near Atlanta arrested 2 teens after 2 young victims, ages 8 and 10, suffered injuries after being shot by frozen gel pellets. And just yesterday, a California teenager was arrested for shooting a gel blaster from a moving car, injuring another man. Police say what happened in Radnor could have ended much differently.
Anybody could confuse what happened with somebody shooting at children at a school, and we know how serious that is. So there is no room for that decision at all at any point in time.
Now, those teenagers have been charged with possessing an instrument of a crime.
And I'm going to stop it right here. Instrument of a crime. So, Mr. Jamal, man, oh man, Orbeez TikTok challenge. You grab Orbeez, you make them swell with water, and then you freeze them, and then you throw them in these type of airsoft guns, and basically it's like a BB gun, you know. I guess regular BB guns, they don't like them anymore. I guess these are a lot better. I don't know. What do you think about all these TikTok challenges here?
I would like to thank Christian. I'd like to thank Christian Walker. I would like to thank Christian Walker for her kindness and generosity. You know what, Jermain? What this is a cheaper way around metal BBs. Because here's the thing. You shoot somebody with a metal BB, you can get charged with assault inflicting serious injury, a possible felony.
That's true.
These are little paintballs. There aren't any laws against that yet. And for those little black kids in Atlanta who froze the balls to shoot someone, they are purposely being vicious and malicious. Now, the way to stop that is when these teenagers are shooting their little gel balls, you respond with lead balls.
Yep.
They're shooting gel balls, you respond with lead balls. Because if you're driving, sticking a gun out the window, that's a drive-by shooting.
It is.
You're basically taking the ignorance from the black. I told you, one thing black folk can do, we can export ignorance. We can't export nothing. If we can't export nothing else, we can export degeneracy, ignorance, and criminality. Oh, we can export that. So when they drive by you and they pow, only thing you got to do, you hit my baby. They were just playing. Well, I was playing too. I was playing a deadly game of freeze tag.
And you can see why, Jamal. China don't allow TikTok like this in the country.
Yep.
It's because it, really changes the population's morality and the way they think. Instead of mamas to be taking care of their children, you know what they're doing? They're doing TikTok challenges. Instead of nurses to be doing their job, you can see nurses at their job doing TikTok challenges. I kid you not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new world, and these social media apps like TikTok are destroying people's lives. People want to be TikTok famous because they believe it will lead to a monetary gain that will change their life. I want people to understand. People will quit their job to be TikTok famous. So all these things that are going on in TikTok, these things, in my personal opinion, lower the morality of people in our nation. It lowers the IQ, the way people think, the risk behavior. A lot of people are taking risks that they wouldn't take before. It's not good, in my personal opinion, at all. And I think that we as a society need to start thinking about these things here, right? There's other countries who don't allow dumb stuff like this at all. I want to give a shout out to Russia. They got rid of Facebook.
And Twitter.
I'm telling you, you know why? Because they're evil. I bet their population is breathing a sigh of air. Last words here, sir.
I would like to thank Jose Marquez. First of all, I want to thank Jose Marquez for the shirt. He sent me the shirt. I forgot to show it last night. So Jose Marquez, thank you for the shirt. Here's the thing about this little TikTok challenge. Like I said, these challenges are becoming more ignorant and more ignorant and more ignorant. And as long as you got liberal Democrat trash prosecutors, they're going to continue to get even more ignorant. The way to stop stuff like this is to hold people responsible. You have to allow the ordinary American citizen to hold another American citizen responsible for their actions. Sometimes it's going to take that little 9mm parabellum or that 45 slug to change a lot of this stuff. Because when you're shooting someone, can you imagine, Jermain, you and Amber, y'all walking and somebody shoot one of those things and hit your son in the eye and put his eye out before your son can live a life and have a life, his eyes put out. He can't go to the military. He can't go to no branch of the service. And that person, it's playing and he only gets probation, but your child is ruined for life. That's why I believe these people should be sponsored by Get Your Free Hot Balls.
Yep.
Lead. Collect lead balls. I'm throwing them at you.
Yep. Catch a slug, throwing bullets like Brady. You know? My goodness gracious. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy Robert Marvin. Took our $10 challenge. Challenges 5 more people for these 2 awesome gentlemen. Shout out to Robert Marvin. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right. Make sure you do. Next one up, I want to go ahead and speak about a mayor in Ohio. He is threatening an entire school board for child pornography. He's threatening to charge them, I should say, for child pornography if they don't resign. This clip is taken off. I want you guys to take a look at this. A lot of parents right now are feeling helpless. And one thing I want to say is that there is strength in numbers. As you guys can see, you look at the teachers union. Look how strong they are when they don't want to teach your children, right? Yeah, they're very strong in numbers when they don't want to teach your children. You should be strong in numbers when it comes to keeping your children safe. Take a look at this.
Earl, members of the board, my name is Craig Schubert. I'm the mayor of this city. It has come to my attention that your educators are distributing essentially what is child pornography in the classroom. I've spoken to a judge this evening. She's already confirmed that. So I'm going to give you a simple choice. You either choose to resign from this Board of Education or you will be charged. Thank you.
Mr. Zero, write a sex scene you wouldn't show your mom. Rewrite the sex scene from above into one that you'd let your mom read. Describe your favorite part of a man's body using only verbs. Describe a time when you wanted to orgasm but couldn't. You have just been caught in bed by a jealous spouse. How would you talk your way out of this? Write a sermon for a beloved preacher who has been caught in a sex scandal. 10 euphemisms for sex. You're a brand new suicide hotline counselor. Describe how you feel during the course of your first call. Write a letter from the point of view of a drug addict. Drink a beer. Write about the taste. Write an X-rated Disney scenario. A room full of people who want to sleep together.
I want to stop it right here. So, Jamal, this was done a while back here. And one thing I want to say about this here is that we don't have many mayors standing up and doing this. How come we can't get more mayors and more, parents to get involved like this, to get a lot of these corrupt teachers and officials out of there? How come we can't get it?
Because a lot of these corrupt teachers and stuff are behind this mess. Okay, think about it. This mayor went down, sat down, and said, either you resign or I'm going to charge you. Now, I want everybody to picture this. Now, go over to, God, what is that county? What is that county? The county in Virginia.
Loudoun County.
Up. Huh?
Loudoun County.
Is that Loudoun County in Virginia?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. In Loudoun County in Virginia, where they covered up that transgender boy raping a girl sat, I said, Ludan? Or what's it looking? Ludan. I thought, I didn't know it had a D in it. I thought it had. But they sat there and covered up for that transgender boy who had raped the girl, said her father was acting like a domestic terrorist, moved him to another school where he raped another girl and gone rape and raped another one. One didn't come forward. So this man, this boy, testosterone high, running high, raped 2, possibly 3 little girls. I blame the school for this. I blame the school totally for this. So, yes, that principal did something great. He stood strong. But what about these other schools where the voting isn't in the middle, it's totally leaning Democrat, like here in Durham?
You know, I believe that things like this need to happen all across the nation. A lot of these school boards need to be kicked off. The ones that are sitting here promoting CRT, all sorts of dumb stuff, they need to be kicked off. They need to return to reading, writing, and arithmetic. A lot of these topics that they're trying to introduce to our students, the parents need to do it. That's what parents are there for. They don't need you to sit there and teach the children about sex and all sorts of things of this nature. The parents are there to do that. And I think that until parents start taking a hold of what's going on, this will keep going on. Parents need to understand that there is strength in numbers. And without your children, they have nobody to teach. Seriously. So you hold the cards. The parents hold the cards. They have to understand that. Your children are currency. Guard it well. Let's go ahead and move forward. Yep. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead and speak about 4 Florida men. Ooh-wee. 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 4 Florida men arrested after installing devices in Florida gas pumps. Yeah. Gas theft is on the rise right now. Through the roof. A lot of people are getting those locks. But people are drilling and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. I want you guys to take a look at how drastic these thieves are making a lot of these robberies look. Take a look.
Gas prices, they're at record highs, and some people are going to criminal lengths to get around the pain at the pump. Tonight, a group of suspects here in the Bay Area are facing felony charges after allegedly tampering with gas station equipment. News Channel 8's Chip Osowski joins us live with that story. Chip?
Stacey, any gas station in the state of Florida, like this 7-Eleven in West Chase, can be vulnerable, and that's why the Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services is urging owners and managers to be vigilant.
This is something that easily you can be able to identify. You can see when somebody is tampering with the gas station pump. So just keep your eyes on everything.
Florida Agriculture and Consumer Services Commissioner Nikki Fried does not take this type of crime lightly.
Anytime that we're seeing a theft like this or actual fraud, we have a zero tolerance, and we're going to come in, and it's a very clear symbol to anybody who says that they are thinking about doing something like this. We're going to catch you.
At this Circle K in Lutz, state officers arrested Marlon Rosel Rodriguez and Jordan Diaz Benitez, both from Tampa. I knocked on Rosel Rodriguez's door, and there was no answer when I approached a woman at Diaz Benitez's address. Looking for Jordan?
No engaged.
They arrested Yulier Garcia Martinez and Rogelio Lorena at a gas station in Polk County. According to the arrest reports, the men were using a device to trick the gas pumps into pumping gas for pennies on the dollar.
So they're able to change the price of the fuel down to a nickel or a penny a gallon and fill the back of the trucks up, their bladders or their spare tanks, with basically fuel that's almost free.
Ned Bowman, president of the Florida Petroleum Marketers Association, tells 8 on Your Side, this type of theft hurts the independent owners the most.
Somebody took gasoline at 5 cents a gallon or diesel fuel at 5 cents a gallon, and you're paying, $4.50 to $5 a gallon for it. It hits your bottom line pretty quick.
And Commissioner Fried adds that state officers can't be at every gas station every moment of the day, and that's why she's urging all Floridians to be vigilant and look, if anything looks out of the ordinary, report it. Stacy?
Did she say specifically what we should be looking for?
Well, anything that looks
Hey,
out of the
I sent
ordinary,
you a
obviously
couple
these guys
shirts,
were breaking into these
that
things.
order
So
for me.
this
Please make sure you order the
particular
right size,
sticker
babe,
would be
'cause I think
broken
you-
because they'd have to get into this lock. You can see there's another sticker here. If any of these are broken, that shows that someone's tried to get in here. The other thing that they were saying is if you're fueling up and you see a large truck or a van fueling up for an extended period of time, they may be filling up more than just the truck's tank.
All right, good information, especially during these times.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this here? Let me tell you something. It's crazy. It absolutely is. So these guys here, they took some sort of electronic device and tricked the pump there to, basically pump pennies on the dollar. They got caught up, but there's a lot of these schemes going on. A lot of people are stealing gas right and left. What do you think about this? Will this ever stop? Gas pirates, will this stop? And how can we get it to stop?
You know what, Jermaine? This is because of Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? He stopped the Keystone Pipeline. People don't realize if we had that Keystone Pipeline right now, our gas would be about $3. It would have dropped to $1 and something before the invasion. Joe Biden's incompetence and stupidity is why things are like this. And it's like anything, whenever there's a supply shortage, people gonna find ways around it. They could probably be taking the gas, using the gas for storage reasons or to sell it. Or they could be filling up their wives and family cars. It's still stealing, and it's wrong. But this is the ignorance and stupidity of Democrats and Democrat voters.
I agree with you. I certainly do. When I look at this here, Jamal, I see a lot of people in desperation.
Yes.
They're scared about what may happen in the future. One thing I said with all these gas prices going up, I said that theft will be on the rise. Normal folks who don't think about stealing, they will be stealing. I want folks to understand that. little old ladies to old men stealing gas so that they can survive. And once that really starts getting high like that, you'll start seeing theft out of grocery stores next. Because once fuel gets high, so does food. And you know that. There's a correlation there. So when the food starts getting to a certain extent, right, when a gallon of milk costs $10, you'll start seeing theft there too. You'll see little old ladies put in milk in their gosh darn purse. I want folks to understand that. So inflation, bad economic policy brings corruption, and it really brings crime. It really does. It sets the scenario, the environment for crime, and crime done by people who would never commit crime if the environment wasn't as such. Last words here, sir.
People are going to find ways to get money when their money is going. During the Great Depression, a lot of people went to kidnapping rich people. They came with a law to make kidnapping wrong.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know that. In the Great Depression, a lot of people went to kidnapping wealthy individual bank managers and things like that because it was wrong, but they still did it, and they created a law that you could go over state lines to chase a kidnapper. These gas prices are ridiculous. Brought to us by Joe Biden.
Yep.
He built that.
And I'm telling you, normal folks will start stealing. If you roll up to a pump and the pump says 15 cents a gallon, so the person before you tricked the pump, 15 cents a gallon. You're the next person at the pump. You didn't even know it was 15 cents a gallon. Are you going to sit there and say, you know what, let me sit here and call the police? Let me be a good Samaritan here and call the police? Yeah, hello? Yeah, yes, this is Timothy McDuff. Yes, I'm over here at the local BP here. Yes, there was a black guy. His beard looked like Osama bin Laden. Yes, and he smelled like marijuana. Yeah, he smelled like that. But yeah, the pump says 15 cents a gallon. I'm not sure if that's right. Because we have Mr. Magoo as our president, and trust me, like Mr. Magoo, he's not that smart. Yeah, can you send a patrolman out here? No, you're not gonna do that. Most folks are gonna pump that gosh darn gas,
and I'm gonna be right behind them.
They're gonna pump that gosh darn gas and get out of there. So this is the type of stuff that is created by bad policies put on by the Biden administration. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure y'all shout. Make sure you shout. Next one up. I want to speak about Russia. The Russia news and the Ukraine news is starting to slow down a bit. All those fake ass stories, I think they done pumped them all out now. Those fake stories are slowing down. The fake morale stories are slowing down, and we're starting to get a little bit of a real picture here. Propaganda is starting to fade just a bit. And when the propaganda fades, ladies and gentlemen, you can start seeing the truth on the horizon. And I want you guys to take a look at this clip here, all right? Clip is entitled, "Is Russia Losing the War in Ukraine?" If you listen to the liberal left, you listen to the Western media, you would think Russia was some too big country. You would think that, Russia gone. They gone. You would think so. But when you listen to other media that is not Western, when you listen to folks who have experience, you start getting a different picture. I want you guys to take a look at this. A former general says that he doesn't believe Russia is losing the war. He doesn't see any indication of that. Take a look.
As the war enters week 4, questions being raised about Russia's military performance, as we just heard from Leland. Right now, 75% of the entire Russian military is in Ukraine. That's according to officials at the Pentagon. Russia has made no major advances in days. Reports indicate Russian troops are looting for food, and Russia has been asking for help from China and Belarus, reportedly bringing in mercenaries from Syria and Chechnya as well. Leading to this notable headline yesterday in Fortune magazine: if the Russian army doesn't start moving soon, it's really screwed. Well, Lee Busby, retired Marine infantry colonel, joins us now. He's previously led exercises in the Baltic Sea involving U.S. and Russian troops. Colonel, some are even asking at this point, is Russia losing? If they're not moving forward, if they're not gaining ground, they could be losing, right?
Maybe, but not necessarily. No, I have not seen any evidence from the reports that we've been privy to that the Russians are losing. I'm certainly absorbing the ones of slowdowns, but if you'll remember, when we went into Iraq, I think about the time we got to Nasiriyah, we entered into what we called an operational pause. And I think few people have any concept of the complexity of a 4-axis full-scale invasion. It's hard to do logistically when no one is shooting at you. It's tremendously hard when people are shooting at you.
Yeah. So this could be a tactical pause. In other words, the Russian forces are regrouping, marshaling their forces, getting their supply lines in order, not only for their munitions and armaments, but to support their troops' very survival in terms of food and the things that they need. At this point, what more can Putin do if in fact, that's not what's going on? What's your take on all that?
Well, I saw your bullet point just a moment before that said 75% of Russia's military is in Ukraine. If that's true, there's not a lot more than he can do. But again, I would not eliminate the possibility that this failure to move forward at lightning speed is either not a deliberate pause or not part of the larger strategic plan. I don't know. Again, it's difficult in the best of times, doubly difficult in February, snow, melting ice in the early spring. It's hard stuff.
Yeah. What do you make of the fact that there are long-range missiles now being launched at whether they're civilian targets or whether it's just indiscriminate bombing in these cities, in the center of these cities, that is now what Russia is doing tactically? Does that speak to any troubles they're having militarily? I know that you're saying we can't draw too many conclusions from the sort of stalemate that's happening now over the course of the last several days.
It's not necessarily a sign of stalemate or inability to move forward. It may be a sign of force preservation. If you can achieve your strategic goal with less casualties on your own, in fact, you're swapping off your military casualties for Ukraine civilian casualties, then there is a ruthless logic to that.
Well, Lee Busby, retired Marine infantry colonel, your perspective.
And I'm going to stop it right here. So, Jamal, very sobering review here of what's going on in Ukraine, right? This former retired colonel here, and he has a lengthy military history, retired Marine Infantry Colonel, former Deputy Chief Staff of Marine Corps Forces of Europe, former Vice Chief to Staff of General John Kelly, and served in Iraq, Europe, and Africa. So he's seasoned. You get what I'm saying? And he's letting folks know, listen, just because the man ain't moving at lightning speed don't mean that there's something wrong. You get what I'm saying? The liberal left is saying, well, he hasn't taken over the country now. Gosh darn it, there's something wrong with him. And he's saying, no, in war, they have what they call operational pauses. And just because, the troops are not rushing into the city and they're bombing the city, he says that he's trading troop lives for civilian lives and destroying infrastructure. He says it's a ruthless way to do it, but folks do it. My goodness gracious, Jamal, that brings this war to a different light than what the liberal left is saying, which is, gosh darn it, he's running out of money, fuel, and gosh darn ways to take over the country. What do you think?
You know what, Jermain? Ever since this crap has started, Fox News especially has been a disgrace.
Yep.
They want to be they want to be Zelensky's publicists. They don't care if they are carrying water for Ukraine. And if you got to do all that lying, then you ain't winning.
Yep.
Because the truth tells it all. How in the world can Ukraine be winning when their cities are surrounded and getting a siege?
Logic.
They're bombing their cities. Oh, Ukraine, you will not take our cities. We'll fight you to the death. Okay, so when the Russians send you a salvo, they're bombing us. They're bombing us. You said you would fight to the death.
Yep, you did. You're not going to give
You
up.
said you would fight to the death. You said screw the Ruskies.
As a matter of fact, Jamal, let's be honest here. If the Ukrainian citizens are arming up, all of them are enemy combatants, aren't they?
Every time you keep turning around, they keep showing these people with AKs shooting at Russian soldiers. They're going to shoot back. Now, yes, it was said if you try to invade America, you're going to have a rifle behind every blade of grass. But that still didn't mean you won't go get shot.
Yep.
Ukraine, the reason why they're trying to hold on to that Odessa city is because that city bears the name of the Azov battalion, the Nazis that's fighting for Ukraine. Did you know that?
That's their holding base there.
That's their holding base for the Azov battalion, the Nazis, the neo-Nazis that people have conveniently forgot about since snap, wrong button. My bad. Hit the Jermain.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I hit the wrong button. That people have conveniently forgot about, couple years ago. Matter of fact, last year, they was talking about the white supremacy, the neo-Nazis, that Ukraine is a hotbed for neo-Nazis. And now, it's just forgotten. Ukraine wants to do all this. Yeah. We gonna fight. We gonna show you Russians. Aren't people sick and tired of the same tank they keep showing?
Yep.
The same tank you keep showing. The same MRLS, multiple rocket launcher system, you keep showing. The same thing. But what you ain't showing is how Russia has let you know and let Zelensky know they can kill him whenever they want to.
Absolutely.
Look at the city of Kiev where he's at. They haven't hit that church yet.
So
and here's something. Before I go, Jermain, let me say this.
Go ahead.
Ukraine is constantly violating the rules of military tax. They constantly military justice. They constantly violating that. You're not supposed to hide military troops with civilians. If you got a church that civilians are hiding in, once you allow soldiers to hide in there, that church is now a military target.
There you go. And on top of that, any civilian that picks up a weapon is considered an enemy combatant. So when the Russians are sitting here coming in and you see the Ukrainian folks picking up guns and this and that, you're doing that. They're not a civilian anymore. And that's why I don't like how the media is framing this, because a lot of these civilians are trying to defend their home country just like they should, but they're not civilians. They're enemy combatants at that point. They're soldiers at that point.
We called them insurgents in Iraq.
There you go.
Afghanistan.
Yep, we certainly did. We call it, America just like to change up words and stuff like that, to make it more feasible for what they're trying to do. But that's what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. It really does. Russia could take out Zelensky at any time. And in a sense, the Western powers don't know what Russia is doing. They're making up stuff because they want people to believe a narrative. That's it. It didn't make sense to me that all of a sudden Russia is losing and this and that, where you just take a look at what's going on. You step away from the fake stories and the propaganda, and you start analyzing what's going on. They're not allowing you to hear anything from the other side. The only side they're letting you hear is the side that they want. And it's unbelievable the stuff that they're pushing out. It really is. Even the estimates of death of Russian soldiers, they said Ukrainian killed about 12,000. I said, hell no. I don't believe that for the world.
No.
More than the Iraq war, you got to be kidding. Stop it. Stop it. But yet they're pushing lies out there like that. Unconfirmed. Nobody knows. So these are the things that are plaguing real information out there. Now, Ukraine is facing intense Russian assault, as you guys can see, bombing through the roof, right? And they are defying Russian demands to lay down their arms. I want you guys to take a look at this when I come back. I want to speak about it. Why? I think that it's coming to a certain time where Zelensky may need to do what is right. And a lot of people are starting to call him out for it right now because of what's going on. Here we go.
The Ukrainian president is rejecting Russian deadlines to surrender key cities to halt the military invasion. In an interview with America's NBC News, Volodymyr Zelensky spoke about Moscow asking Ukraine to hand over Kharkiv, Mariupol and Kiev as a possible resolution to the conflict. Zelensky also doubled down on a call for direct talks with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin as the key to ending the war.
The question is more difficult than simply acknowledging them. This is another ultimatum, and we are not prepared for ultimatums. But we have the possible resolution for these three items, key items. What needs to be done is for President Putin to start talking, start the dialogue, instead of living in the informational bubble without oxygen. I think that's where he is. He is in this bubble. He's getting this information, and you don't know how realistic that information is that he's getting.
The city of Mariupol has already been under heavy siege for almost 3 weeks now. The southern port has been relentlessly assaulted by Russia. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell described it as a massive war crime. Mariupol has suffered from some of the heaviest bombardments since Russia launched its invasion last month. Ukraine on Monday defied a Russian demand that its forces should lay down arms before dawn in Mariupol, which remains a pivotal target in Putin's war. If it's seized by Putin's forces, it would provide a land bridge between Russian forces in Crimea to the southwest and Russian-controlled territory to the north and the east. The battle for Mariupol is also symbolic for both Kiev and Moscow. It's a port city on the Azov Sea. It is the home ground to the Azov Battalion, a Ukrainian militia unit with far-right sympathies. At least 200,000 residents remain trapped in the city without food, water or power. The United Nations has recorded 925 civilian deaths, including 70 children, but fatalities are almost certainly higher. Mariupol officials say the death toll in that city alone has surpassed 2,000 amid Russia's indiscriminate shelling. And some parts of the city are controlled by Russian forces, while some remain under Ukrainian control.
Wow. So it ends right there. So Jamal, very simple question here. Is Zelensky now how can I say, a burden on the country? Because now we're having millions of people being starved, right? One city here, 350,000 folks. They don't have water or electricity. People are starving. Is it time for Zelensky to hang it up? He's not going to be able to join NATO. No, no-fly zone is not going to be there. I mean, the help that he's asking for is not coming like he wants. Is it time to hang it up? What do you think?
When this all started, right before, and Russia was building up troops on the borders, he told his people not to leave. Nothing was going to happen. Now he has removed all opposition parties to him, all networks who speak out against him. They're removing. Tucker Carlson covered this last night. People wouldn't know that there are actual networks and people who are like, get out of Dodge, bruh. Leave. You're going to get us killed.
Yeah.
But he's hoping that the West comes save his hide. That's all he's hoping for. He's a crook. Oh, did you hear about one of the parliament members' wife, who's a supermodel, got caught in Hungary with $30 million?
Absolutely.
Fleeing? Guess what? They said, she's just trying to buy babies some Pampers and milk.
That's a damn lie.
Come on. People are covering up for Ukraine. They're covering up for him. And here is why. Democrats and the media need someone, if they can connect him to Joe Biden. When you go vote, you're going to vote for Zelensky, not Joe Biden, come the midterms. They're trying to wrap America up in these, we love Zelensky. And Republicans are so stupid. We're going to lose the midterms because we keep going along blindly about this mess. Republicans need to open up dialogue. Yes, he's crooked. Yes, they're not winning, but Republicans are going along with it. Sean Hannity. There's a general that you haven't, he's a colonel. You haven't seen him on Fox News ever since he said, yeah, Ukraine is responsible for a lot of this mess too. Anybody on Fox News who says opposite of the narrative,
It's gone.
They're dismissing you. You're not coming back up there.
Absolutely.
And that's a shame.
And
You
Sean
got to
Hannity
do
deserve an
that.
ass
That
whooping.
lets me know you're not right.
Absolutely. Sean Hannity deserve an ass whooping, Jamal.
Yes.
The amount of caping he's doing for Ukraine is sickening. It really is. It really Jamal, I can't even get around it. It really is. It's very sickening. I believe it's time for Zelensky to hang it up right now. It really is. The more defiant he is, the more Ukrainians will suffer.
Yep.
And I want folks to understand that the more defiant he is, he's not going to win this war. Not at all. And I believe in a sense that a lot of this holding out is because of, the powers that are at B. Maybe they're trying to get more money out of Ukraine. You get what I'm saying? They're trying to cover up some more stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in that country. A lot. And you can see the liberal left, they're upset right now. They're very upset about this. Ukraine will fall. Remember I told you guys this, right? Even before I said it ain't going to, I said I don't care what the liberal left is telling you. I don't care what Fox News is. Remember I said this. There's no way. I said all the jibber jabber that they're running, saying that, Russia is, all sorts of tanks are blowing up. They're shooting down fighter jets and this and that. I remember I said this is a lie. I don't think they're doing all this. And come to find out, everything that they're putting out is a lot of it's propaganda and lies. So we have to be abreast about this. Now, moving forward here, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Kristen Walker. Kristen Walker donated, took our challenge on PayPal. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to speak about Justice Clarence Thomas. Justice Clarence Thomas has been hospitalized with flu-like symptoms. Take a look.
This morning, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas hospitalized. The court saying he was admitted to a D.C. area hospital Friday evening after experiencing flu-like symptoms. He underwent tests, was diagnosed with an infection, and is being treated with intravenous antibiotics. The court saying he's expected to be released from the hospital in a day or two. At 73, Thomas is the second oldest justice and the most senior conservative. He doesn't have any known health issues and is both vaccinated and boosted for COVID, according to the court. The news about Thomas's health comes as a confirmation hearing kicks off today for a judge looking to join him on the Supreme Court. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman nominated in the court's 233-year history, set to address U.S. senators.
My life has been blessed beyond measure, and I do know that one can only come this far by faith.
Since her nomination, the 51-year-old Harvard graduate has sat down with a bipartisan list of more than 40 senators. She's also held mock sessions with the White House ahead of today's opening remarks.
Wow, and I'm going to stop it right here. So let's speak about Justice Clarence Thomas. He's not feeling well right now. He's been hospitalized. What do you think about this here? Do you think that this will be serious? And if it is, what does that really spell for the GOP and this country? What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. The last thing we want is something to happen to Clarence Thomas. That is the last thing in the world we want is to happen to Clarence Thomas. Now, they said it's not COVID. They said it's okay. Antibiotics, he should be home, I think, by this week. Hillary Clinton tested positive for COVID.
Yep.
Not only did Hillary Clinton, but Psaki tested positive
Yep.
for COVID. These people, I do believe, are vaccinated amongst vaccinated. So what does that mean? Omicron is strong. And it's going to get, it's not as deadly, but it's more communicable. Clarence Thomas, I hope and pray nothing happens. Because if Joe Biden chooses another, he's going to choose a transgender, openly gay Supreme Court justice.
You know it.
And we cannot afford to have Clarence Thomas go. No.
No, and the thing is, Jamal, I'm very scared because if you look at how Congress is stacked right now, they don't need Republicans to pass Ketanji Brown Jackson. Nope. And imagine if Clarence Thomas dies. Let me knock on wood right here. Imagine. They would have carte blanche to put whoever they want on there. That in my eyes would be devastating. It would, especially to the work that Donald Trump has been doing to have conservative justices on there to restore America's value and morality. I think it would be a blow to that. So I'm praying that, he pulls out real nice and he's up and running his mouth. That's what I want. Now, Ted Cruz, and I believe, what was this? Ted Cruz today highlighted 6 child predator cases where this new nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, imposed a sentence below prosecutors' request. Now, what's going on right now is that Ketanji Brown Jackson is being challenged on her court cases. The GOP has basically saw a pattern with Ketanji Brown Jackson that she likes to give child predators and sex predators lower crime sentences than what is required. It seems like she has a heart for these folks, and GOP senators want to know why. I want you guys to take a look at this when it comes back. I want to speak about this. With her and her casework that is, very apparent, will she be able to get in there? Will there be somebody out there on the liberal left to say, you know what, maybe we shall pass? Take a look.
Let's look at what the prosecutors are asking for. And I would note that this was in the District of Columbia, where prosecutors are far more liberal than many of the prosecutors in this country. And in every case in which, United States versus Hess, there was a mandatory statutory minimum of 60 months, and you imposed 60 months because you had no discretion. In United States versus Nickerson, there was a mutual agreement of the parties to 120 months, and that's what you imposed. In every other case, United States versus Chazen, the prosecutor asked for 78 to 97 months. You imposed 28 months. 28 months is a 64% reduction. In United States versus Cooper, the prosecutor asked for 72 months. You imposed 60 months. That was a 17% reduction. In United States versus Downs, the prosecutor asked for 70 months. You imposed 60. That was a 14% reduction. In United States versus Hawkins, the prosecutor asked for 24 months. You imposed 3 months. That was an 88% reduction. In United States versus Savage, the prosecutor asked for 49 months. You imposed 37. That was a 24% reduction. In United States versus Stewart, the prosecutor asked for 97 months. You imposed 57. that was a 41% reduction. Every single case, 100% of them, when prosecutors came before you with child pornography cases, you sentenced the defenders to substantially below, not just the guidelines, which are way higher, but what the prosecutor asked for on average of these cases, 47.2% less. Now, you said you made sure the voice of the children was heard. Do you believe in a case like United States versus Hawkins, where the prosecutor asked for 24 months and you sentenced the offender to only 3 months? Do you believe the voice of the children is heard when 100% of the time you're sentencing those in possession of child pornography to far below what the prosecutor's asking for?
Yes, Senator, I do.
Wow. So that's Ketanji Brown Jackson. Giving leniency to child predators. And she's saying that, a lot of it is case by case basis. It looked like every case by case, she's giving them very, very low numbers. Ain't it nice? What do you think here, sir?
Remember, Democrats are the people who are trying to push pedophilia.
There you go.
Democrats are the people who the ones when you see these little gay pride parades got 8 and 9-year-olds out there twerking. And remember the little transgender jazz twerking in front of grown men? Okay. Democrats and activists have changed the term pedophile to a minor attracted person.
Yep.
So they need to get somebody on the Supreme Court who can write dissenting opinions about 30, 40-year-old gay men trying to date 13-year-old gay boys. That's what she up there to do. To relax it, to give quote unquote arguments for it, so they can say, well, even the Supreme Court even arguing that, the age limit is discriminatory and it's a hurt gays. That's what they're doing, and they're setting it up for it. She never met a pedophile. She seemed not to have more concern for. She's more concerned for pedophiles than she are the American children.
Ain't that crazy? And the way that she's even talking, it's almost as if she doesn't recognize that she has a bias. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
She really does. That's what they're pointing out with all these cases here, that you have a bias towards child predators. Like, you seem to give them less time that is required, even by the prosecutors. So how are you standing on laws? One thing they don't want on the court is what they call an activist judge, right? Are you a judge who is about law and order and doing what's right? Or are you a activist judge trying to change America? And Ketanji Brown Jackson, I can tell you, her defending CRT, defending child predators, defending all sorts of dumb stuff, yes, she's an activist judge. And one thing that Anthony Allen said that I concur with him, she will be one of the first black judges on there to start complaining about racism and discrimination. You watch. You watch, Jamal. She will bring it up, and it will screw up the whole court for centuries. Last word.
I agree. I agree to that. I 100% agree to that.
Last words, brother.
This woman is evil, and she doesn't care. She is siding with pedophiles, kitty ticklers.
Yup.
This is what she is associated herself with. She is what the gay agenda need to push their agenda forward so that 30 and 40-year-old men can groom 13 and 14 and 15-year-old boys.
Mm.
That's what she's opening up the door to. Ted Cruz really line by line about child sex laws. And you know what's so bad? You ever heard of the Black News Channel?
Yep.
Them
BNC.
ignorant
Yep.
bunch of niggas? Or that real ignorant nigga, Dr. Rashad from whatever his name is, undisputed from the
Yeah,
Young
Dr.
Turks.
Rashard Richie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wear
Them
glasses
niggas
and
is
he wear a suit all the time. Light skinned
and
brother.
glasses.
Yep.
Always talking like the white man. He loves to try to get black conservatives on the show and try to talk over. I don't have enough time, brother. I don't have a time, brother.
Yeah, he
And
always
he
do
won't
that.
let you
Yep.
speak.
And he try to get conservatives at their game because what he'll do, he's not a regular liberal. He understand how liberals look silly because they always bring up emotion. So what he'll do is you bring up a fact, right? The conservatives will point to a fact and this and that. The brother will bring a fact of his own. And it'll be a crazy fact. You're like, brother, that don't even make any sense to bring that up. But he'll try to fit it into what he's saying. He's very good at that. And I have to give him credit for it. You know what I'm talking about, right? He sound like a conservative, but he bringing up bullshit facts.
He can easily be destroyed because once he say, you gonna let me talk? No, I'm not gonna let you talk.
Yep.
You got to get combative with him.
You
the
have
same
to.
way he bring it to you, you bring it back. But this woman, Jackson, is the opening door to lower the age of consent or give a pass to gay men or gay women messing with younger teenagers. That's what she's the opening door for.
Absolutely, and she will be one of the first ones to sit there, and write an opinion that will be approving something like that. She will. And one thing I do know, Jamal, when you have a black woman who's like her, these black women become bullies wherever they're at, and you know what I'm talking about, right? Victimization that they bring on themselves. You know, us black women, we've never been on in this type of, seat before, this and that, this and that, this and that. So they push with the black victimhood crap. And then on top of that, then they will bring the race into it. And one thing
they love doing that.
One thing they're good at, especially black liberal women, they're very influential in bullying. You know what I'm talking about. They will bully white men on the court there. Tell me I told her that. They'll bully them into either going along with what they're saying or bully them to not speaking out and being honest. And that's something that needs to be pointed out. Everywhere you inject one of these liberal black women, liberal black heathens like this, they will screw up the court. And then on top of that, now you have Sotomayor there, right? She was by herself. She was she tried pulling the color card. I'm a Latino woman and all this. It didn't work too well for her. She didn't have enough backing there. You get what I'm saying? Now you have Ketanji Brown Jackson and her, both who identify by their being a woman and being a woman of color. This is dangerous. It really is. And if Justice Clarence Thomas dies, America's screwed from here to Pakistan. You're not, I just don't see any way around it. Two crazy women like that, and then, he has a way to pick another justice. Lord help us. Last words.
You know, Jermaine, if Joe Biden chooses another it's going to really hurt this country. I hope Clarence Thomas can hold on for his health and live long enough so that if President Trump runs in 2024 and wins, or any Republican, he retires.
Yeah.
Look what they did to Justice Breyer. They forced him out.
Real quick.
Republicans don't do it, but I think Clarence Thomas, we thank you for everything you have done. But Mr. Thomas, let's retire and let's get a strong conservative, a young 40, 35-year-old conservative up there,
in there,
so he can really change some things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jamal, that is the end of our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody and their mama for coming out, hanging out with us. I'd like to also thank everybody who donated. You guys keep the show running. You guys keep us paying our bills here. Mr. Jamal, any last words for our beautiful crowd here before we depart?
Yes, for everybody, I do not come back to Facebook until April the 3rd. I'm still banned to April the 3rd. I do have now an Instagram, Mind of Jamal. My Instagram page is Mind of Jamal. So I do have one now. I post little short clips and little stuff like that. So if you're looking for me also, you can go to Instagram and I may start posting links so you guys can find me. For those who have Instagram, I am there, Mind of Jamal.
Mind of Jamal. Make sure you guys go check him out. Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook. He'll be on the 4th, you said, right?
Yeah, I should be back the 4th.
Yep, which is Monday. So make sure you guys go and check him out. I'll be on tomorrow, giving you guys a good word. I won't be on Facebook, though, but I'll be on all the other channels. I won't be on Facebook till Thursday. They got your boy, and what can I say? That's what it is. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, you guys take care. Have a very, very good night, and I'll catch you guys here later with another edition of Conservative Nation. You guys take care. Have a beautiful night.
We gonna do it to him.